So before we dive into the mental side of golf, can you introduce yourself and tell me a bit about your journey through psychology and mental performance coaching?
I would love to. So I am Amanda Jones. I am the director of counseling here at Seacrest Country Day School, and I was a college volleyball coach for almost 10 years. And I really got obsessed with the mental side of the game and started going to clinics and seminars, and the more that I did, the more that I wanted to do. And so I went back to school and got my master's degree and decided to step away completely from coaching and do sports psych full-time, and then had my own private practice for a few years. And I missed the depth of relationships, so I wanted to get back into a school setting, and so found my way here to the amazing Seacrest.
Perfect. How can golfers develop mental toughness to stay focused and composed, especially during like high pressure moments like a tournament or a crucial putt?
Yeah, I love that. So I think it's kind of like anything that you train. And so, even I had a conversation with a dad yesterday at a T-ball game, and he had an older son, but he was saying like, he's just got to stay calm. He's just got to do this. And it was like, okay, how do you do that? And he didn't have anything. Like, well, okay, here's how I would recommend it, and gave him a few things, but it's training. And so I would recommend, one, looking at, I think that a lot of reasons why people choke, and athletes specifically, would be self-focus. And so too often they're thinking about themselves instead of what's going on in front of them. They start to lose, in their head, thinking like, okay, what if this, or what if that? But I think focusing on external cues, like for golfers, like the ball, not even necessarily the club, because that's, in your hand, but the ball, looking out of the green, kind of like seeing what you want. That's, when coaches are like, get out of your head, that's what they mean, is you switch from an internal cue to an external cue.
Speaking of like getting in your head, how do you feel about self-talk? How does that play in a golfer's mindset? How can a player shift negative thoughts to positive?
Yeah, and they did this study of basketball players, and they said, talk to yourself in a motivational way of being like, hey, you're the man, you're amazing, like keep it up, you got it, or in an instructional way. And so like, hey, elbow high, get your feet around, use your feet, things like that. And the ones that were using the motivational cues did a lot, significantly better than the other ones. And so I actually think way more often people are very negative to themselves and are very like, I'm stupid, I suck, this is awful, why am I even here? And so I think that people tend to make what I would call like global assumptions of something very like temporary. So if I fail a math test, I'm not going to tell myself like, oh, I'm terrible at math, because one, that's not true. I can get better, but it's also not very helpful, because I'm not problem solving then. I'm just like stuck on what I would call like the blame train. And so then I want to talk to myself in an optimistic way. So if I hit it in the water, I'm not going to be like, oh, that was an amazing shot. No, but so you know what happened, but then you believe that it can be better. Hey, I got it next time. I'm good. And then a key is kind of what I just talked about, is getting out of your head. So when you are in motion of your swing, you should not be here. You should be out. So I talk to athletes about signaling with a breath. I'm amazing. I'm the best. Never been anybody better. I'm out of my head, and now I'm thinking about things like that. So I think a physical cue like that can help push your thoughts outside.
And how do you feel about patience in the game? You have to have patience.
That's a really funny question. I like that one. So I think patience is really important, and it's also important because you see the bigger picture, and it helps you to problem solve longer. So I think patience, one, comes with feelings of competence, like I got it, I know I can do it. Stay patient. Golf is a game where you're like, all right, I gotta just make up here, got it, and move on. So I think that patience is definitely a great skill, and when we lack patience, our brain will perceive what's going on right now as a threat. And when your brain does that, then you start to panic, and then you're not thinking critically, and it messes with your entire game. So I think that patience is key, of like deep breath, one stroke at a time. And so getting to a place where you can just be where your feet are.
Absolutely. So what do you think the importance of like a visualization type of tool in golf could be?
So that's funny that you ask that. I've done some research on visualization, and it has been one of 8 things that I've always taught. And so if I have 8 weeks with a school, that's one of 8. And now what the research is saying is this is the cornerstone of all mental performance. So everything that you do should hinge and be supported by visualization. And you know, I like it, one, of like visualizing really positive things happening. There's also I would call it an SFT. So it's see it, feel it, trust it. And so I can see, I visualize that I see the actual thing happening. I watch the line of where I want it to go. I can visualize it in my head. I can see it out here. I feel it, like, this is gonna be a good one. And then I just trust it. And that's where you get out of your head. So it starts with that key of visualization. Then we use that with everything. Skill acquisition. I want to see myself putting. I want to like close my eyes and be able to feel what that would feel like. And not only does that like fill us with good vibes, but it also makes the same connections in our brain as if we were actually doing it. And the great thing is like we can do perfect reps in here, even if they're not perfect out here. So visualization is really positive in here for that. And like twofold, a lot of perfectionists will like be so hard on themselves, and they'll like lay down and watch what they did over and over again, the bad thing. And so the same is true, that when you are visualizing doing it wrong, you are solidifying that in your brain, and you're basically practicing doing the wrong thing over and over again. So there's a lot of power in seeing it the right way.
Absolutely. How do you build, you kind of already went over this in self-talk kind of, but how would you build and maintain confidence in golf?
So I think I love the shift in I am just showing off when I'm competing. So when I don't make a great shot and I'm showing off, it's like, okay, I might make a quick adjustment, I might not, but like this is what I have right now, and being committed to giving everything that I have in this moment. If you're trying to change a ton of things, then you're going to have to think really hard about it. And when we're competing, even in golf, we don't want to think, we want to do. So if you're thinking about your swing, even like when I'm demonstrating it, like my hand starts to get tight, just do it, right? Nike on them. So you're hey, I'm doing what my body knows to do, get out of the way. And so with confidence, a big part of it is knowing when to shift focus. When am I like relentlessly trying to get better, and when am I just trying to show off? And I would call this not like Happy Gilmore, but like caveman golf. See ball, hit ball. The strategy comes before. Maybe when I'm on the way, I'm walking up, but then see ball, hit ball.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And then last question, if you had to give one piece of advice to golfers or athletes kind of struggling with that mental side of the game, or confidence, what would it be?
I would say a bridge of many planks is a strong one. And so if you are a friend and you're funny and you're smart and you do all these things and you have all these activities and other things and you're a golfer, then when golf starts to feel heavy and that kind of cracks, the other planks can pick you up. But if you have a bridge that is made only up of golf, and this is everything I am, everything I do, everything that makes me special, and that starts to crack, you are on extremely unsteady ground. And so I would say find other things that you love to do, that golf is not who you are, it's something that you do and that you have value just for being a human being and being exactly who you are.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.